Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic more pervasive than those weird, targeted Facebook ads you get for orthopedic shoes, fake scam calls. Yes, those unsolicited calls from scammers pretending to be everyone from your bank to, and I'm not making this up, the IRS demanding back taxes payable in iTunes gift cards. These calls, much like that persistent rash you've been ignoring, are a real problem. They prey on your trust and use increasingly sophisticated tactics to steal your personal and banking details. So consider this your crash course in Scam Call Defense 101. Let's learn how to protect ourselves because honestly, at this point, who else is going to... look, I get it. We all crave a little excitement in our lives, a break from the mundane routine. But that excitement should not come from answering a call from an unknown number and suddenly finding yourself in a high-stakes negotiation with someone claiming to be your bank manager or a government official. Trust me, real-life bank managers find it hard enough to even make eye contact with you, let alone call you directly out of the blue. So, rule number one in this increasingly bizarre game of phone tag with con artists is simple. Be vigilant and always on guard. Treat every unknown caller like they're trying to sell you an extended warranty on a car you don't own or a service you never signed up for. Because metaphorically speaking, that's exactly what they're doing, trying to trick you into something you don't need. These days, scammers are masters of disguise, using increasingly clever tactics like spoofing to make it look like they're calling from a legitimate organization, fooling even the most cautious among us. You know, like your bank, a government agency, or even, and I shudder to think, your internet provider. Don't fall for it, no matter how convincing they sound. Just because a number looks familiar doesn't mean it's the real deal. Scammers can easily fake caller IDs. The moment you answer and hear something along the lines of, your car warranty is about to expire, or there's a problem with your internet connection, just hang up immediately. You haven't wasted your time. You've simply made an excellent preemptive strike against telephonic tyranny and protected yourself. Because let's be honest, if it was truly important, they'd leave a message. And you can always call back a verified number. Bottom line, when in doubt, hang up. It's better to be safe than sorry. Let's be clear, folks. In the wrong hands, your personal information is more valuable than a signed photo of Beyoncé at a cat cafe. It's the key to unlocking your financial life, your identity, and possibly even your Netflix recommendations. So, why on earth would you hand that over to some random stranger on the phone who probably can't even pronounce your name correctly? Remember, legitimate organizations will never call you out of the blue demanding personal information like your social security number, credit card details, or your mother's maiden name. If someone you don't know asks for this information over the phone, alarm bells should be ringing louder than a flock of pigeons fighting over a stale bagel. That's your cue to channel your inner detective and start asking some questions of your own. Who are they? What company do they represent? What's their employee ID number? If they don't get the Monty Python reference, hang up immediately. But seriously, if you're ever unsure about a caller's legitimacy, hang up and verify their identity yourself. Call the official number of the organization they claim to represent, you know, the one listed on their website or your account statement, so guard it like a squirrel guards its nuts. Let's be real, folks. Nobody makes good decisions under pressure, except, of course, for firefighters, surgeons, and those competitive hot dog eating champions. Everyone else, not so much. And that, my friends, is exactly what scammers are banking on. They're masters of creating a sense of urgency, a pressure cooker of panic designed to short-circuit your better judgment. They'll hit you with lines like, your account has been compromised, or you have an outstanding tax bill that must be paid immediately. Their goal is to get you to act first and think later, which, let's face it, is a strategy best reserved for choosing what to watch on Netflix after midnight. So the next time you get a call like this, take a deep breath and remember, it's a scam, not a flash sale on discount patio furniture. You have time to think. You have time to hang up. You have time to make yourself a calming cup of herbal tea. Don't let anyone, especially a disembodied voice on the other end of the line, pressure you into making a decision you might regret. Remember, legitimate organizations don't operate on fear and intimidation. Show me the money, but not to the person on the phone. Here's a universal truth for you folks. If a stranger calls you out of the blue and asks you to transfer money to them, it's a scam. Plain and simple, it doesn't matter if they claim to be your long-lost relative, a Nigerian prince, or that guy who always wins the office fantasy football league. They are all part of the same deceitful playbook. It's a trap. And let's be honest, if your long-lost relative or that fantasy football guy really needed to get in touch, they know how to find you. They have other means. They'd be sliding into your DMs, not your voicemails. Social media is the go-to for real connections these days. We live in a world of instant gratification where you can order a pizza, hail a ride, and even get someone to walk your dog with just a few taps on your phone. Convenience is king. But transferring money to strangers over the phone, and that's where we draw the line, people. It's a big red flag. No legitimate organization will ever ask you to transfer money to a new account or hand it over to someone for safekeeping. They have secure methods for transactions. If someone on the phone is pressuring you to do this, hit the mental eject button and get out of that conversation faster than you can say phishing scam. Trust your instincts. Because that's exactly what it is, a blatant attempt to steal your hard-earned money. Don't fall for it. Remember, your money is safer in your bank account, under your mattress, or even tucked away in that dusty piggy bank shaped like a dachshund. Keep it secure and stay vigilant. Revenge of the scammed reporting fraud like a boss. Okay, so you've fallen victim to a scam. It happens to the best of us. Remember that time I invested in a musical based on the life and times of a particularly charismatic toaster oven? Yeah, we don't talk about that. But unlike that ill-fated theatrical venture, there's a silver lining when it comes to scam calls. You can fight back. Instead of drowning your sorrows in a vat of ice cream, although let's be honest, that's always an option, you can actually report these fraudsters and make the world a slightly less scammy place. Think of it as your own personal crusade against telephonic injustice. So, how do you become this champion of consumer rights? Simple. The moment you realize you've been scammed, hang up the phone. Don't even bother trying to reason with them or unleash a string of colorful metaphors about their questionable lineage. Instead, grab your phone and report the fraud to your bank or card issuer. They can help you secure your accounts, cancel any fraudulent transactions, and hopefully prevent these scammers from striking again. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, your actions will be the final push that sends those scammers running for the hills. Phone a friend, because two heads are better than one, especially when one is being scammed. We've all been there. You're on the phone with someone and they're throwing around jargon like cryptocurrency and NFTs, and you're nodding along pretending to understand, but inside, you're pretty sure they're describing an elaborate scheme to steal your dog. It's a bewildering experience, and you're not alone in feeling this way. Look, it's okay to admit when you're out of your depth. In fact, it's more than okay, it's smart. We can't all be experts in everything. Life is too complex for anyone to know it all. I, for instance, am hopelessly inept at anything involving power tools, IKEA furniture assembly, or correctly identifying the difference between salsa and pico de gallo, and that's perfectly fine. But that's why we have friends, family, and that one neighbor who's always out walking their cat on a leash. For those moments when we need a second opinion, a sanity check, or just someone to tell us we're not crazy for thinking that phone calls sounded a little bit off. It's these connections that keep us grounded. So the next time you get a suspicious call, don't be afraid to ask for advice. It's better to be safe than sorry. Call up a trusted friend, a family member, or even that tech-savvy barista at your local coffee shop. They're often more than willing to help. They might be able to spot red flags you missed or offer a fresh perspective on the situation. Sometimes an outside view is all you need, because sometimes all it takes to avoid falling victim to a scam is a second pair of ears, a healthy dose of skepticism, and maybe a shared laugh about how ridiculous these scams can be. Humor can be a great defense mechanism. Remember, you're not alone in this fight against phone fraud. Together we can outsmart the scammers and protect each other. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay off the phone with strangers. So there you have it, folks, your crash course in scam call survival. Remember, these scammers are like telemarketers on steroids, persistent, annoying, and surprisingly good at mimicking human interaction. But the good news is you're now armed with the knowledge and, dare I say, the cynicism to outsmart them. Stay vigilant, question everything, and never be afraid to hang up on anyone who even remotely resembles a scammer. And if you do fall victim to a scam, don't panic. Report it, learn from it, and then share your story with your friends, family, and maybe even that barista who's secretly judging your coffee order.